So being present can kind of help with those things and what we were talking about. Like, so one of the other issues, at least socially, trying to become a better listener is one of the things that I'm trying to do. Asking people questions, expanding on what they've told me, not only waiting for them to finish speaking so I can get out what I want to say. And I kind of, if you go to a therapist, anyone has been to therapy, they kind of understand too, is that they're great listeners. They're there to help you. It's a way to kind of dig up all that internal stuff that we've shoved down for so long, because it's made for a way to feel comfortable enough to say these things, and it allows you to have these eye-opening moments or memories that you might have forgotten about, and things that have shaped the way that you behave and dig up whatever else it is. So you're like, oh, I do this because of that. I forgot about this.
Yeah. Kind of being an example, kind of going back to what you said with parenting. It's like I'm a parent, and I grew up in a household where explosive arguments were normal. Low self-esteem was kind of accepted because my mom would always come home and, uh, you know, talk about how much she failed failed us as parent, as being a parent. My mom was a very sensitive soul, and when she found out that me and my brother and my sister all were in therapy, she kind of took it as, I failed you. What did I do? I did fail you. And that's what I grew up with. So every sport, every thing that I did, unless I like excelled at it, I dissociated from it early on, because I knew I wasn't going to be able to succeed. So I would just put myself in an automatic state of, I'm not good at this. I'm a failure. Like, why try? So I think by the time I was a junior in high school, I'd all but dropped off all sports that I played. I was a 3-sport athlete in high school. So, that's what I grew up with. And like, again, if like going into like our coding boot camp, I kind of had to like reverse that mindset of, I can do this. I don't need to be good at it immediately. I just have to work at it. And I think that kind of goes hand in hand with being present, of knowing your feelings, knowing that you have what it takes, and having the work ethic to kind of do that. But uh, it was a total kind of mindset change for me, because again, growing up in a household of, you have to be kind of almost be naturally good at something, otherwise you're going to get down on yourself, and like, or you're not going to be good and you're just going to hate and what have you. So kind of going through the like coding boot camp was almost like a mind shift for me, because it wasn't something that everyone's going to be naturally good at. Like, you have to study patterns, you have to know syntax, you have to be good at problem solving. So these are all things that I maybe had a beginning of, but not fully developed. And I think that's what kind of fleshed that out. So, but that would have been something I wouldn't have been able to kind of figure out without kind of being present and understanding how I was feeling in that moment. So, not getting overwhelmed. Because like I said earlier, I had panic attacks that almost put me in the hospital, or some that did. And that was because I was just kind of like bottling things down and not understanding how I was feeling at the time, other than just being anxious. And so, I have a support system in front of you, and I've kind of learned what my healthy coping mechanisms can be, even winding down from work. Like, being present isn't just like having a conversation with someone and actively listening. It's more than that. It's being understanding how you feel, your reactions, kind of controlling your urges. So there's a lot of benefits to it, and sometimes how you realize things may not be like the norm. Maybe it's going to an AA meeting because you've had too much to drink, or having some sort of puzzle that you're stuck on and you can't quite figure it out. So I don't know. There's knowing yourself is going to be different for everyone, and I think that's kind of part of my point of being present is figuring out yourself by interacting with everything else around you and not getting overwhelmed.